is on, which is essentially day 3, right? On a 30-day countdown. But on the mission to get 2,000 Australian artisans on queue, Ted, on queue, my puppy, but to get 2,000 Australian artisans on the wait list. And from there, that means that we can head towards our target of onboarding 400 new artisans onto the platform. And as it works in a 30-day sprint, I think you go through these natural sort of ebbs and flows. And I've got a whole heap of notes, but also a bit of a reflection of what's happened since the morning as well. So I've been doing the lives over on Instagram at 9 a.m. every day as well, and getting really good traction on those actually. And I can see that the engagement is building. And I'm going to retain the lives that I'm doing here on YouTube to be a bit more, I guess, technical and sharing more of the insights. But I'm actually enjoying the fact that one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. You can kind of get that reflection as well. But this morning, actually, before I jump into that, let's talk about stats. So where are we at right now? At the moment, we have 359 artisans on the wait list. So I think when I did the YouTube live last night, that there was 323. So I've had like a decent amount go onto the wait list, but definitely not the volume and the traction that I'm going to really need to get to in order to get to the target of 2,000, right? So this is where it comes into those two different aspects. It's like, well, is the idea that I'm doing incremental every day? Or is it the fact that I need to actually come up with something that's going to give that much more sort of volume? Now, on the live this morning, I actually said to the collective, I was like, what am I missing? Like, what can you share with me? What are your ideas? And anyway, I've had one of the artisans who's been amazing, and she's been messaging me all sorts of ideas, which is Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Shout out to you. And what she had come up with is more of a referral option. So to say, hey, what about you reach out to those, Ted, really, honestly, oh my goodness, reach out to those that are already on the wait list and say, hey, would you like to introduce someone to also join the waitlist? And then that means that you're getting earlier access to actually have your application reviewed. And I love that idea. And I use Klaviyo for all of our emails. That's the email platform that I use. And if you're an artisan thinking about what you want to do email-wise, like Klaviyo is definitely a lot more technical. And I think it can take a little bit longer to wrap your head around in the beginning, but the capabilities of it are amazing. Definitely not the cheapest, but I guess, but it's also one that I know. So that's probably feeds into why I also use it. But interestingly enough, there's not like a natural kind of share referral option within Klaviyo that I can use. So what I'm going to do, and the idea, because I always have an idea that you want to go for that MVP, right? The minimum viable product. And it's even like MVI, the minimum viable idea. And so what I'm thinking to really simplify things, right, is to do a reel, which I'll share on Made It for Artisans. And then, oh, who we got there? Tracy. Hey, Tracy, nice to see you. But I'll do the reel with Made It for Artisans and with Made It, do it as a collaborator reel. And then in the automations that go out, there'll be an opportunity that if you want to get your application or get in the early access, that's what I'll do, the early access, that then they can share the reel in their stories, and that's how they're going to be able to get that early access. And then I can just automatically add them to a list. And when I say automatically, I mean manually. And one of my favorite books, which is The Cold Start Problem, which is all about marketplaces, but he talks about on that before you try and build the tech around an idea, just actually work out whether the idea works or not. So I'm going to be doing it manually, but again, we're in a 30-day sprint, so that's what it's all about. But so interesting, what I would say is that I felt a real spike in what we were doing yesterday. And if you know me, you'll know that more so with these things, it's an energetic spike that I'm feeling as well, where it's like, you can actually feel the uplift. Whereas today, I learned so much today, but there wasn't a direct uplift, even in our Instagram following, because I'm following all these different data points, right? But I think that's really, hold on, before Ted starts ripping up everything in the background. But I think that's really normal and really consistent with what actually happens when you're working on anything, that you don't necessarily see that uptake immediately. One of the videos that I started my morning with very early, I think I was watching it at about 4:45 this morning, which was on the Callum Johnson show. Callum Johnson? I think that's it. And it was with Kane Callaway. I'll put it in the link, I'll put it in the notes. But it was an absolutely fantastic interview about creating content and about what you need to do that. So already my day was kickstarting with the learning. But it means, and he spoke about this, it means that even though my skills are up leveling, it means that the results may not just actually meet me at that point. And that's quite normal that it happens that way. But I know if you're a handmade artisan, you've probably felt it as well. Like where you're doing all the things and you're like, but it's not working, I'm not seeing the results. But often you see the results later. There's a delay in which you're actually seeing those results. So it's been a really good reminder for me today. But let's talk about a few of the things that I've got in the background as well, is that diving into Facebook ads today. I'm pretty comfortable in Facebook ads, but it's always changing. And I think everything to do with social media is changing on a constant basis. So it's been about having that open mindset to go, even if I think I know things, it may not always be the same. And I was definitely in front of that today with setting up dynamic product retargeting, which what that means is that when people come to visit Made It as customers, that I've then got advertising set up so that then they see products that they've been looking at gets shown to them in their meta feed, so Facebook or Instagram. And those ads work really well. And it's quite a low spend advertising as well. So I managed to work that out and get that sorted, which I'm very excited about. But interesting with the ads, what I'm noticing, a few different things. I've got many friends in the world of e-com in particular who helped me out along the way. So big shout out to Sam Shannon for this one. But he had actually given me lots of really good insights around testing advertising and have multiple points of creative as well that you're testing. So I set that off, and what I've seen in the last couple of weeks where I've been in the ads every single day, right? Tracking everything every single day, is watching how you get like this initial spike, you get this initial, I guess, where it's all working, and then you get a little bit of a drop off and it starts to kind of not plateau, but it's there that you need to kind of go, okay, what's the creative that's working? Do we need to change the headlines? Do we need to change the copy in the body? So it becomes all immersive or consuming, whichever way you want to think about it. But so today's been a huge learning day. So I'm looking forward to being able to stack the learning and apply it to what I'm doing in this 30-day sprint and see where the results start to come in over the next couple of weeks as well. So today, this afternoon, I'm also off to an event. It's a sector gathering for artisans, creatives, and those working in the art space in the Northern Rivers. And if I wasn't doing this 30-day sprint, honestly, I think I probably would, because it's about a 45-minute drive. I think I probably would have said, oh, I'll just keep going with what I'm working on. But because it's a 30-day sprint, I'm feeling very called to go along and to connect and see what comes of it. So thank you to the 30-day sprint, day 28. Still haven't worked out how to do things the right way around on the camera. Anyone who knows, please let me know so that I can start showing you the numbers the right way around. Anyway, have a beautiful afternoon wherever you are. If you're on this challenge, share with me in the comments what. Oh my goodness, the socks, the dog on the couch, all of the things. Hey, oh, he knows when I'm on video. Anyway, if you haven't joined in already, join in now. That's the whole point. The journey begins again now. The journey begins again now. So you've still got time to join. Choose something that you want to focus on, an outcome that you want to get to over the next 28 days. Start your challenge and share with me what you're doing and come along for the journey. I'll be on Instagram every day at 9 a.m. and YouTube at some time throughout the day. So have an awesome afternoon and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.